All right, good morning. This is yet another stage of the Tour de France, stage 4. Been having a little technical problems using the cell phone, so we've switched cameras. Also, it's kind of nice because you'll get a slightly larger field of view for what I'm doing. So today we're back out on the road after yesterday's time trial. And with a road stage, even on the sprinter stage, that usually includes a breakaway, and today is no different. It also usually includes a breakaway with the wild card teams, and again, no different today. So we have 4 riders off the front. At one point, had built a rather large advantage, up to 8 minutes, but the sprinters teams have decided to change that. So now they're down to being shown by the person I'm drawing right now, the timekeeper. I love this old piece, predates radio, but the race organizers still keep a motorcycle out ahead that goes back and forth between the race leaders, or all the groups on the road actually. Today it's just the leaders and the peloton with a chalkboard, and they take time readings and go back and forth, letting everybody know just how big of a gap is. It's also kind of fun, and I think it's been the same woman for a while now, but they put a young lady out on the back of the motorcycle who's providing the time breaks. You know, one of the things I kind of joke about when I ride is spend a lot of time looking at guys' butts when you ride a bike. It's, you know, as you're in these lines and making sure you don't spend too much energy riding, you'll get up behind the guy in front of you, but you need to keep a sharp eye. Make sure you don't have any crashes, because it's actually one of the reasons I stopped racing. Was crashing hurts. I would just as soon never do it again. I've had the misfortune of being hit while out on by cars riding in traffic a number of times. Too many to recount. Fortunately, most were not bad, although the last time was. But anyway, so we're just getting this group of 4 riders drawn here. So as I said, I do the work with the line work first using the Faber-Castell version of pen and ink to, because if you use real pen and ink, you'd have a real problem with waiting for stuff to dry, and I like to try to do these as close to real time as possible. So I just as soon not have to wait for things to dry. So just about finished sketching this out, just getting a little bit of the background. And then I will switch to the adding the watercolor. Like the title before I start the watercolor. One reason is it's pretty hard to put this ink down on a wet surface. So, all right. So now we pick up the brush. These brushes come from Richland Art, as do the watercolors. Great company, great products. So get my brush wet. going to start with the lightest warm color, and then work my way through the color wheel, using warm first so that I can get nice bright clean color. And then work my way down through around the color wheel. And if you can jump back and forth, but it's a good rule of thumb to start with the brights and work to the darks, work to the cools. So, generally speaking, yellow, then skin tones. Now, and it's changing, but cycling is dominantly European sport. Dominantly white. There was one African racer, Eritrean, but he's already had to retire. Well, not retire. They call it retiring. He's left the tour because he got sick. So many things can go wrong in your Tour de France. So this is two of the riders. Cofidis, one of the French teams, who's always gets a wild card to the Tour, had an objective of getting one rider into the Tour for today, but actually ended up with two up here. Perez and Clays are the two. Clays up front, Perez the second rider of the two. So now I'm going to switch to some of the cooler colors, or in this case, it's a hot color, it's just a hot green. This is Wanty-Groupe. This is the Belgian rider on the team. So you've got three Frenchmen and a Belgian working together. Tonight they'll be adversaries. Well, they're adversaries now too, ultimately. Just a truce, as it were. As the World Cup continues with semi-finals tonight. And it will be Belgium against France. So they'll be very least, rooting against each other tonight while they ride together today. Now, one of the things, and if you'll notice, I'm following the musculature of the body as you put down your paint. Brushstroke helps convey form, helps show what's going on. So you should always try to follow the form when you lay in your brush strokes. See something I missed with a warm color, plus I want to zap up the brightness of the yellow. I don't know if you can notice those initials on the board, but it's LCL. Lyon Credit Lyonnais, long-term sponsor of the Tour de France. So now I'm going to start laying in a bit of the grasses. and trees along the side of the road. So here you can actually see the cake watercolors. Again, Richardson art. The particular cakes are St. Petersburg. Wonderful bright color. Boy, I'm forgetting a couple of things here. Oops. So now get some of the darker greens for some of the shadow areas and the trees along the side of the road. Again, there are these grasses, tall grasses at the side of the road. So using the brush, just some charged paint, to give some of that texture. And then got a nice field behind that. Just behind the verge at the side of the road. So now I'm going to make my black. Notice I said make the black. So I'm using a bit of the alizarin crimson, little violet tone, and some dark green, like a hooker's green, to create those black tones. Makes for a much more attractive, less opaque color. I'm always amazed that, as hot as it is in the tour, that teens still wear black kit. On really hot days, you'll notice they've got salt rings around them. Just about here, just hitting some of the last little details. There's a little bit of shadow being cast across the road by the trees. Make sure I get that little detail in here. Break up some of that expanse. And the gray of the chalkboard. And you notice that that color is getting lighter as it's less pigment, more water. So I just picked up a little more pigment to lay it in. A little more detail in the trees along the side of the road. And then the last step. So all of this artwork is available for sale. These are original pieces, first come, first serve. Easiest way to find them, to purchase them, is to go to the blog, theartofcycling.blogspot.com. Follow the links for each painter to my website, which is Greg Leach, GREIGLEACH.com. But I'll write those on the description for you. Paintings will be posted in the next couple of hours, around 3-4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So again, using the brush to help create a little direction, a bit of the road surface, convey a little bit of speed. And there's today's painting for you. as my dog hits the table to rub his face. All right, thank you all so much. Hope to see you again tomorrow, and please be sure to follow and subscribe.